sessions on round 2 of the selection process at top B schools of India, the GD-PI process, or at few institutes, the WAT-PI process. The common questions that students have about round 2 are, where should I prepare from for the GD or WAT? And the expectation is a few sources where I can equip myself with a lot of facts, figures, examples, insights, analysis into any topic that may be asked in a GD or a WAT. Other questions are some do's and don'ts about GD. Should I start a GD? Can I interrupt someone in a GD? Can I change my stand in a GD? What should I do if someone cuts me out? Such questions, right? Regarding personal interview, the almost always the questions asked are, what is it that the panel expects? What answer will impress them? What is an ideal answer for these common questions like, what are your career goals? Why are you doing an MBA? Why should we select you? Something even as simple as introduce yourself. And then there are some far more worrying aspects, worries about, I don't have a lot of extracurriculars or interest or hobby. So when asked questions on this area, how do I handle it? For someone it is extracurricular activities, for someone it is ACADS. I don't have a great academic score. So how do I handle questions on this area? We will be answering a lot of these questions. However, this whole direction of preparing, this direction, I mean this search for an ideal answer, or this quest for a lot of knowledge, awareness about anything that can be asked. This whole direction is wrong, students, because there is no expected answer. There is no ideal answer. Let's take the most common question to start with. Why are you doing an MBA? There are students who are absolutely crystal clear why they want to do an MBA. They know that they want to make a career in management consulting. They know the company that they want is a McKinsey or a Bain or a BCG or so on. There are people who are very crystal clear they want to get into investment banking, including the role what they're going to play, a treasury or a trader and so on. And they do, few of them are selected and few of them are not selected with similar answers. Okay, then there are few who are clueless about their further career. And they pretty much admit, in fact, because they are clueless, that is a reason why they want to do an MBA. There is a logic in it. The logic is very simple, that an MBA is one of the most sought after postgraduate qualifications, which opens the way to a whole range of possibilities. It provides a very nice safety net. Banking on it, I can go ahead and explore various career opportunities. For example, I might be interested in sports, and using management, I can build a career in sports. Right? I might be interested in trekking and using this, or in singing, and somewhere I can get a mix of, I can create a vocation in singing. Right? There are huge opportunities. Somehow this MBA equips me to capitalize on all these new career opportunities that are coming. So the answers could be very different, student. And then there are certain students who are not questioned on this entire line of questioning. There is no talk anywhere about careers or why do you want to do an MBA. Right? So how is it then they decide if this was a very important question for them, or they were looking for a particular answer here? So student, there aren't any answers. Let's look at the other question, the quest for getting aware or equipping oneself with a lot of examples so that whatever topic may come, you will be able to do well in the GD or VAT. This again is a pretty, it's a very long shot to guess that you can prepare yourself for anything that can be asked. A few students, the GD topic or the VAT topic is different for every batch of students who go through the process, right? Every day it's a different topic, right? So some people are asked on very hotly debated current topics like a farm bill. It's unlikely in a GD to be asked, but in an interview it can be asked for some, and for most of them it is not going to be asked. So look at it, the topic where there's no agreement even amongst the experts, and it's such a, let's say, opaque topic where one doesn't have real hand information about the APMC markets, and there are conflicting views across the any medium that you study. So some are facing those questions, some don't. Some face questions on very, very technical aspects like, let's say, the WHO's role in pandemic, or let's say the China model of growth economics, or let's say India should have a presidential form of a democracy, or there are many such technical aspects, whereas some of them are given topics which are very softer, or like ethical issues like corporate greed. It could be about industrialization and ecology, or coexisting, or it could be simply social sector, just to name a few more topics. Yeah, it could be anything unclassifiable. Should India be investing into Mars mission? Should India be building statues? Or some simple proverb type, justice delayed is justice denied, right? Or any 2-3 words put together, red is blue, right? Discuss. And coming back, what I'm trying to say, 2-3 things here is the range of topics that are asked is so wide, students, and the amount of time that you have is just 20, as short as 20 days, or in some cases a month, 40 days. To think that I will be able to prepare myself in anything that might be asked like this is very difficult, students, and no wonder that when you think of GD or VAT in this sense, no wonder it appears very scary prospects. So this whole direction of preparing is wrong, students. So what is the right way? The right way to come to an answer, you need to think what is being tested, what is being evaluated. Don't you find the whole process very discriminatory? Someone is asked questions on one area, someone is asked on another area. For someone, the whole interview can appear as if a discussion on only their hobbies. For someone, the whole interview is only about his work experience. For someone, it is nothing about this. It's only about his knowledge or his interest in World War II. These are things that have happened. For someone, it is a sitting and discussing ghazals and songs, and there are moments where the panelists have asked students to sing a song also. Right? So see how varied. No two interview processes are identical, right? So what is being tested then? When it comes to the written test, I know that it is quantitative aptitude, verbal ability, reading comprehension, reasoning ability that is tested. So what is being evaluated in round 2? Unless I don't answer this question, I should be very wary of what I should prepare for. right? So ponder how can the process be so very different for everyone. Everyone faces a different set of questions. Someone has interviews as short as 5-6 minutes, someone has 10 minutes, 12 minutes, someone has 25 minutes also, for the same institute, same panel also. So it's a nice thing. How can that be so many different set of questions, so many different rules, and yet they are checking something? So what is that something? Think. I'll answer, but you do that, because once you discover that, it's going to be a far more easy process for you to prepare on that. Yeah, you'll be more confident about what you discover. One way to find an answer to what is being tested, what is being evaluated, is to think evaluating what. And I don't even know what is it. Is it a quality, a trait? So let's just leave it at evaluating of what requires the process of a GD, VAT, or a PI. Let me elaborate. Is GD the right tool to evaluate knowledge about current affairs? Is GD the right way to check current affairs? Think and answer. Can you think of a more efficient process to check current affairs? And if you can, then probably GD is not checking your current affairs. Right? Is GD the right tool for evaluating what? And you'll immediately get an answer. Why is whatever is being tested, why can it be only judged through a GD? Right? The process. So where the topic could change from every GD. Every GD that is held, the topic is different. So it's definitely not about something to do with the topic that is being tested. Right? So what is it? And I think so the direction is very clear. It's a group discussion. So without a group, that discussion will not happen. If I wanted to check your GK, economic knowledge, or current awareness, world views, or so on, students, I would not go to the extent of getting all of you together in a room and sitting. I would have just given a question paper to you. Right? A UPSC style question paper or whatever it is, right? So that is definitely not what they're checking. So what is important is how do you perform in a group is what is being tested. And how does that change my preparation thing? It changes because a lot of us, the moment we come into a group, and that to a non-familiar group, a competitive group, what's going to happen is some of us are going to be a little scared and are really going to be unable to speak. Whereas some of us are going to get into the other extreme end of being highly competitive, wanting to actually decimate all the group members. But come and think about it, is that what is known as group dynamics? Remember, in your further career, every day you are going to be a part of a group. You might be a part of a group as a subordinate, you might be part of a group as a leader, you might be part of a group negotiating with a customer, a client, employees, but group is always going to be there. And do you understand that the performance of the group is as important or rather is more critical than your own performance, or let's say you perform well only when the group perform well, right? So there are a lot of those dynamics. We'll talk about that in a GD per se, but do you know the sense of preparation has changed? So one big part of preparation that comes in now is you working on your group skills. Yeah, if you are scared to talk, how will you come out of that fear? And it is not always about lack of knowledge, students. In fact, one of the great things about a GD is the knowledge is a part of the group. Yeah, there is a lot of points that are discussed. You might not really have something to start with, but if you can just listen carefully and pick up things, you can very easily argue on a lot of points that are just discussed in the group, that have come from the group itself. Can you analyze them and so on, right? So probably one other skill that you need to start working on is, do I feel like, I alone have to get in a lot of knowledge driven points? There are no students. You have to evaluate the discussion that is happening over there and get points through that. Anyway, so group discussion that way, right? More about it later. What in a VAT? What is it that is being tested in a VAT again? If it was just about your fact figures or so on, students, then there are better ways to test it. Yeah, and maybe essay is not the best way, right? And or analyzing an issue in a written format is not the best way. So probably again, if you go by and thinking it's just about, given an issue, can you dissect that issue? Can you look at the various pros, cons to that issue? Can you look at it in a multi-dimensional angle, right? How does it affect many different socio-political, personal, many angles to that issue? And how do you weigh the many different solutions or the problems that the issue has? And which one do you pick up? Is there a logical reasoning process in the stand that you take, right? And how well can you structure your arguments and put it across? So again, here if you look at it, it's not just about the knowledge that is there, right? You might have great knowledge, you might even not have knowledge, but you might definitely get credible points to discuss about that by just looking at it in many different perspectives, right? Okay, so more about that later. But then I hope I'm trying, there's some direction of preparation that is emerging in it. So probably what I need to do is, I need to understand that from now and in that 40 days time, 30 days time, let's just say, I am going to have the same or just a marginal improvement in the so-called knowledge awareness level. So with the current awareness level and knowledge level, how do I perform well? That should be the direction that you should be thinking about. And the way to do it is, pick up these topics, anything, right? And start thinking, how can I, whatever I discussed, how can I dissect it, how can I analyze it, how can I build points such that I can write an essay on those. That is what you should be doing, right? Okay, and to let's say, to put you at ease, since the weightage of the GD or the VAT is really very less, very less. It varies across institute, but it is very less. So you do not have to lose a lot of sleep on it. Okay, but the weightage of a personal interview is huge. Sometimes it's as high as your entire CAT score. So you spend these 8 months, 10 months, 6 months preparing for this written test and so on, and the weightage of that interview is as high as a written test, a CAT score. So interviews are very significant, right? So do a similar analysis. As I just discussed, what is it that is being evaluated in an interview? And the answer to that is, why do I need this process of interviewing? And I'm sure you can come up with some answers. So what is it that one can evaluate only by interacting with the person? The CV is not enough. The CV talks about a lot of things. Yeah, so if it was just about, academic details, work experience, this they already have the data. Probably if it was a little more details like what are your achievements, what are your extracurricular activities, that also can very easily be asked in a CV, right? And most of the B schools have this form. And in fact, this form goes far more into details. This form goes into details of, again, why did you choose MBA as a career? Where do you see yourself 5-10 years down the line? This form has more detailed questions like, tell us an incident where you worked in a team, what was your contribution, tell us a life-changing event of yours, something, a hurdle that you faced, how did you overcome, some creative, innovative solutions that you have provided. All these questions you will have to answer in some or the other forms. Okay, so all these are there. Now, in spite of all this, why is it that the institutes want to meet, interact with you? Think it's a very easy question, and this is definitely going to tell you how to prepare for your interview. Right? You take the role of a panelist. Think, they are investing a lot of resource students into it. Those 20-30 faculty members of the institute, they take help of all the alumni from the industry, and for each individual there is this panel of minimum 2 if not 3 people. So spending 10 minutes each, that's 30 man hours for every individual. If they could physically travel like they have been, except for this year maybe, or last year, they go out and meet people, 40-50 days activity. Why are they doing that? So you become a panel, you are a wealthy investor, and you have these 5, 6, 10 different business plan proposals, and you've gone through all the business plans, they all look perfect. Yeah, similar to this situation, there are a lot of candidates who have gone through a tough exam like a CAT, and everyone has scored well and they have come here. So similarly, these business plans are great. Now you are meeting, but you still want to meet the individual behind the plan. Why do you want to meet? What is it that the meeting is going to provide? Think, don't look at answers. When the answers come from me, it is, it doesn't register inside you. You don't own up that answer. You don't start thinking on that ideas, right? So let's give another example. If you can't think of yourself as a wealthy investor, think you are going to meet your life partner, right? So what are the things? You see a photograph that pretty much tells you the physical, you want this height, this build, this color of a person, and so on. Okay, you have all that. Salaries, job should be stable. You get all those details, right? But just because you get those details, are you going to choose one out of the 10 proposals? Probably not, right? You're going to go and meet. So what is this meeting that is what? So let's see. Do you go to this meeting with a question and answer Q&A? Well, you might have some ideas that these are the areas that you might want to check on, but do you have okay, the first question that I'm going to ask is introduce yourself. The next question that I'm going to ask is, okay, out of these three what are the top 3 important things in your life? Yeah, is it money? Is it career? Is it family? Is it travel? Is it what I have? So I'm sure you don't go with a set of questions like this, right? And that is how an interview process also happens. I don't know why we have this crazy idea as if this interview process is something out of the ordinary. It is something that happens and will happen all throughout. You're going to meet new people, you're going to interact with new people, you're going to judge them, you're going to evaluate them, and this is one of those. Right? So let's get back to our process, right? What can you evaluate only through an interaction? And the answer is a little vague. You can't really put it into words, but whatever it is about, you want to meet the individual. You want to know the person. So I am not interested in his qualification, his academics, his experience, his interest, hobbies, his answers to various questions. I want to meet the person. I want to know him. Okay, and I want to, in a simple sense, what is being evaluated is you over here, right? As a person, as an individual, how do you, when spoken to, how do you feel? Yeah, the personality that you have. And while this personality, are you happy, are you sad, are you serious kind of a person, can you handle, how do you react to different stimulus? I want to see all this, right? And by this personality, what happens is when we say this person, right, what typically comes to, the first things that come to our mind, at least when I say personality, is the demeanor, the how one carries oneself. But if I just wanted to check that, I would stay away. Can I judge this person's personality like a ramp walk? Yeah, no one interacts. A ramp walk, you can see, okay, this is the sort of personality, this is how he carries. But that is not what we want. When we say person, it is, who are you made up of? What is it that excites you? What is it that drives you when you wake up in the morning? What are your thoughts? I want to get inside your mind. I want to evaluate those things. Therefore, I do not want a limit, the limitations of a questionnaire, of a test paper. I want it to be a free-flowing discussion. And that is why there is different set of questions, not a set of questions also. These set of questions are not present. It is just that the conversation goes in a different direction in any two interviews, because the panel wants a free-flowing, unhindered, without any limitation sort of interaction. So, come back as a interviewee. How does that help me to prepare? Very important, students. Yeah, you still have an answer. So they have come to meet the person, you. So how are you going to prepare for this scenario? You can prepare by helping them in the process to get to know you. The more easily you can provide them with a good, clear, crisp image of you, what you are made up of, the more easy the process is. I again repeat, students, they want to know you. They are going to meet hundreds of students. It's a very boring task. Same thing over and over again for 4-5 days. They are humans. A lot of them are going to get pretty, bored with the process. By the end of the day, they are going to be pretty grumpy as well. So, for you to prepare well, you know that they want to meet you. So, simple thing is present yourself. Tell them about you. Prepare. Now preparation. So, the problem is, for you to do this, you need to know yourself, right? So that you can help them see you, know you. You should be knowing yourself first, right? And that is where the preparation is, students. The entire next 20, 30, 40 days should, for the personal interview, which carries a huge weightage, students, the entire time should be spent in knowing yourself. Who are you? That is, are you your marks? Are you the work experience that you have? Are you the extracurricular activities? And if you are not the extracurricular activities, I'm specifying that because that's at the top of a lot of people's mind. How do I handle that? If you don't have extracurricular activity, you are not extracurricular, then what are you? That doesn't mean you don't exist, na, just because you don't have an extracurricular activities. Maybe what you are is very different. Maybe it is, you don't realize it like an extracurricular activity, but maybe you are a very, very affable person with a huge friend circle and helpful nature, and you have helped everyone. Now, I would not put this into anything like an extracurricular activities, but I end up in most of the days, I'm doing so many things for so many people across, so many people like me or tell good things about me. So that is me. Now you would have to know about this. So this I'm going to talk in details again when we do. This is just an introduction. So let me just let me just close it here with, students, if you do not know yourself, if you are fuzzy, if you are cloudy, if I cannot figure out who you are, the interview process is definitely going to fail, because the interview process is not about that answers to those specific questions. The interview process is about getting to know this person that VC wants to know. I've heard all your business plans and everything, but I want to see and I want to meet you, and I want to see, are you unaffable? Can you just, do you have a lot of energy? Can you keep going? What is your courage levels? Do you get nervous very easily? Do you not get? So these are the things that you need to know about yourself. When you know this, that is when you can prepare well. If you do not know this, students, there's no point in preparing expected answer. In fact, yeah, let me end it by this. The entire, advantage of round of the personal interview is, it is a open field. For the first time in the selection process, you have a role to say in what is being discussed. Right? Till now, it is they who framed the question, they who set the rule, they who decided the cutoff. They did not ask you what you're good at, what you're not good at. Here is an opportunity that they are saying, hey, listen, we are in front of you and you have 10 minutes of our attention. Go ahead, discuss what you want to do. And so I should be pouncing on that. I should be the one who is driving that whole process. Right? So, you should not look at it as a question and answer session. It is one of the worst things that you can do while preparing for a personal interview. How do I answer this? You should be looking at it as an interaction where you have the ball is in your court. You talk or you discuss what it is that you want to talk. You don't want to talk about academics, great, but I want to fill in the 10 minutes. So give me something that you want to talk about. Yeah, you don't want to talk about your career aspirations. Okay, then tell me, what do you want to talk about? How can you hold my attention for 10 minutes? How can you impress me? That is what you need to spend complete your entire time and effort on. How can I initiate the discussion and hold the discussion for 10 minutes? Start thinking about it, students. It's very important.